Welcome to the Top 16, YouTube. Because you are greatly supporting this by liking, commenting, and subscribing, we are continually posting the full Top 16. I may be a little bit off today because I'm on a new 4K monitor and my other monitors are still set to 1K. I gotta figure that out. So crazy things happen like this. This is small and now it's big. I don't know why, I don't know how, I'm gonna fix it later. With that said, Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
So what did you miss so far? Emergence was activated and we chained Max C as we searched for a Taya, which completely ended our turn. Ain't no way. Ash is going to negate the Max C as we tried to return the Max C onto the opponent, but we are now going to be able to draw two. This is why you do want to use cards like Max C in the draw phase to play around cards like Triple Tactics Talent. We got Shirakusai fusing with itself and the hand. Shokan into the Rising Carp. Rising Carp is going to be able to special summon two monsters from the deck. Get ready. We got the Wagon. Wagon will be searching for the field spell. Field spell will be able to special summon a monster from the hand. Also, we'll be drawing up to 2 cards per turn. Both of these decks are great for a new player. They both have their own secret pack. So focus up on this. Dear Note, when sent to the graveyard, is going to reborn a monster for the graveyard. We're going to reborn the Shirakusai, which is Disruption during the opponent's turn. It's going to be able to synchro during the opponent's turn as the JM Drive searches for the Ghost Ogre. And because we paid life points to search, we get to draw 1 with the field spell. Now the Foxy Tune is going to be special summoning. And now we have Punk Seaman on the field searching for the Ogre Dance, triggering the field spell to draw 1 again. No more drawing as we special summon the Madame. Madame searching for the Surprise. Surprise is going to be able to pop a card in the field, tributing for the Ogre Dance, and Shokan into a Psychic End Punisher. Now, wait, this is turn 2. Boost! And just like that, we have lethal damage with a Psychic End Punisher, gaining attack equal to the difference in life, completely passing the turn because of a Max C play. Long Yun is give your opponent draw 3. It's summon Long Yun, then summon the token. You know how most cards, they summon both monsters at the same time? Well, Long Yun is on purpose, summon, then token, so it's draw 2, then synchro, then it's draw 3. Max C in the draw phase. We are going to negate that cockroach. I do not think so. But we are desperately leaning on the Pot of D needing to draw 2 good cards here. Now, after recommending new players to play Swordsoul and then they are bricking, this does not look good, but I assure you the deck is good. I promise you, the deck is not this bad. They just did not get lucky. Holy moly, they got nothing. Damn. Not setting the impermanences, so it does not get lightning stormed. That is very good. We have the Fenrir activating the search. You do not want to negate that generally, but maybe that actually was a good negate because he's got Rise Heart. Imperm negating the Wagon. We're going to draw a card because you targeted a Punk with a card effect. Thank you very much. Now, the Rise Heart, you want to wait with it because by summoning the Rise Heart, you're locked into Exceed monsters only. With that said, we're going into our Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur is here, 3,000 attack, so it looks like not negating the Fenrir was actually correct. Setting up a bluff with our Omni Negate. We have a Shuna special summon into normal summon Ash. That is a play. And we do have to worry about the Ghost Ogre. If we activate a monster effect, the Ghost Ogre will destroy. Is this a good time to Chang Ying? We have 10 cards banished, maybe. Special summon, normal, Shokan into our own Baron de Fleur. Now what happens is we activate the pop, then they chain the Ghost Ogre, then we chain negate, we lose our negate, we get a pop, then we're just a vanilla Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is why I think Chang Ying probably would have been good, but maybe I'm a bit biased because I clearly see a Ghost Ogre in the hand. We are popping. Whoa, not chaining Ghost Ogre to eat up a negate. That is interesting. I guess we're just going to Lightning Storm it and hold on to the Ghost Ogre for another play, maybe. We're hoping to draw into a Kashtira, normal summon the Ghost Ogre, and that is a level 10 synchro of our own. Lightning Storm. What? Bro, he didn't even have anything. Come on, man. Stardust Illumination, getting a Stardust monster from the deck to the graveyard to Monster Reborn it. This is quite interesting. Can Monster Reborn become unlimited, or would that break some decks? We have the Assault Synchron activating to reborn our Chaos Ruler back onto the field, now ending our turn. We have an Omni Negate, negate any card on the field, and our monsters are indestructible by battle. If I were to quickly scroll up, the Chaos Angel is actually also making every Synchro unaffected from monster effects. How can we beat this? There's no way. Double negate, completely unaffected from monster effects. Let's do it. Regained, not going to do anything there. Chaos Space, discarding to search our deck for a Collapsed Serpent. Could have been potential negate there. Banishing the Valkyrie. Now the Valkyrie is going to be activating to also be returned to the bottom of the deck to allow us to draw one. The Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is not negating the regain, not that it should. Now, Emergency Teleport's going to special summon from the deck a Psychic monster we are going to negate. Now, with the Valkyrie, we activated it to send a Gamma from the deck to the graveyard. That's kind of interesting. Chaos Ruler, top 5 cards of the deck, Chain Link blocking the Baron de Fleur. And we already used the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, which cannot be Chain Link blocked. So what we could have done is Baron de Fleur could have negated the Emergency Teleport, but the Baron de Fleur also negates and destroys, so we wanted the effect to destroy to be used later. But by saving the Baron de Fleur later, we now get Chain Link blocked by Chaos Ruler and Collapsed Serpent, which this could have negated, and now it can't. Also, Mirage Dragon activating to banish the Baron de Fleur off the field. You're not negating? You have to. Did you not read? Wait, it's unaffected. I did not read. Of course you don't negate. You're unaffected, mate. Now, top 5 cards of the deck. Add a light or dark among those 5 cards. How do we deal with a field that's unaffected from monster effects and cannot be destroyed by battle? Do we Chaos? We Goddess, the Chaos Angel, right? That's the play. Regained, Reborn, the Serenir. Chaos Space, banishing the return a banished card back in the deck to draw 1. Core of Chaos, banishing for the graveyard to come forth and summon. That is when the Baron de Fleur is going to negate. We've seen enough. This is not a Dragon Link deck. This is Chaos, a deck that wants to go second. Banishing with Shell of Chaos activating to special summon Core of Chaos back onto the field to now make a Chaos Angel of our own. Now, you're unaffected, but so are we. But the Baldrake is not unaffected. Wait a second. Ain't no way. You Baldraked the Chaos Angel. When you play Chaos Angel, your Chaos Angel is unaffected, so you should know that their Chaos Angel is unaffected. So we did that for nothing. Unaffected, banishing the Baldrake off the field. But maybe we were trying to trigger the Stardust Trail? I don't think so. Ending the turn, both monsters on both fields are indestructible by battle. Baron de Fleur spinning itself back into the extra. Gia, I'm rising. Junk Synchron on summon, reborning our Jet Synchron from the graveyard. We are now going to change the level of the Stardust Trail so that we could summon an Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. On summon, this will reborn a level 2 or lower from the graveyard as the Stardust Trail also activates to summon a level 1 token. Branded Regain, returning the trail back in the deck to draw 1. Now, all the Synchros are unaffected from monster effects for both players. This is an insane duel. Stardust Dragon is here, but we're going to immediately synchro with it into a Baron de Fleur, which returned itself back into the extra deck to now come back, activating to pop. It now has its once per turn negate back into effect. Now, while your monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, we can still inflict a ton of damage. The Branded Beast is the out to the Chaos Angel, which is unaffected from all monster effects. You are not unaffected from the Beast, but the Baron de Fleur will be able to negate. Looks like we waited too long for that play. Very interesting. Serenir sending a Lubellion from the deck to the graveyard. What was supposed to be our out has been outed. But couldn't we set up a Chaos Archfiend for lethal? That's what I'm thinking. Chaos Space is going to be banishing to return back the Collapsed Serpent, randomly drawing into a Droplet, which will negate the Chaos Angel. Our out is here. Do we chain Droplet? Yes, we do. We're sending the Emergency Teleport. Just the Emergency Teleport, we are going to be negating the Chaos Angel. Just like that, your monsters are now destroyable by battle. They are now affected from monster effects, and we are now making a Chaos Beast. Chaos Beast on summon's going to add a Banished Light and Dark back to the hand. Come back to me. And now we're going to use Core of Chaos, banishing the Chaos Ruler to come forth and summon. Special summoning a Shell of Chaos back onto the field. Shell of Chaos summoning a Core of Chaos. Look at that play. Core into Shell into Core. Let's go. And now we're making 4,500 attack. Banish every monster destroyed by battle. Attack every single monster on the field. Attack. 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 Banish. Banish. And just like that, lethal damage with this field. Chaos deck for the win. This deck is nuts. The deck wants to go second, making it a Chad deck. All right, we were playing Chaos wrong. We didn't know. Chaos is meant to go second. It's all about the Chaos Archfiend. Heck, wait. The heck was that? Doppel Warrior pass. Okay. Serenir banishing the Lubellion, triggering the regain to draw one card here. We're going to be normal tributing for the Baldrake. That's quite interesting to trigger the Serenir to send for the deck to the graveyard, making our Chaos Angel with our Wyver Burster on summon banish the monster from the field. Also, we are unaffected from any and all monster effects onto all of our synchros. Let's do it. Magna Hut banishing the Wyver Burster, triggering the regain to summon the Baldrake from the graveyard. You're going to chain your Baldrake to banish my Baldrake. I'm going to chain Magna Hut to banish my Baldrake to stop your Baldrake. And just like that, we got 3,500 to the face with a set droplet for main phase 2. Now, Okami, what are you doing for your turn 3 play? Unaffected Chaos Angel. So what do? If you want to affect it with a monster, you're going to have to make a Goddess. Again, continually redrawing a card every single turn, +1 with the regained off of a light or dark being banished. We're going to make our own Chaos Angel. That's also unaffected. Now, this Chaos Angel will be able to banish a back row card, but the droplet could negate. So right now it's temporarily affectable, but then we don't have a way to affect it, which means it's just going to fall off. So what we could have done is we could have summoned Baldrake early. On the summon, the Chaos Angel would activate, the Baldrake would activate, chain tribute the Magna Hut, and then you would chain Droplet to then negate it and then banish it. All right. So what do now? Were there are no more targets in the graveyard? There's tons of targets, mate. How do we even summon the Chaos? Well, yeah, okay, besides the Chaos Angel. Wait. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. There was actually no targets. There's no targets. We could not have done that. So Earl did not make a mistake. I tried to catch you, Earl. I tried. Lubellion is here setting up the Branded Beast, which will be able to affect and pop the Chaos Angel, opening up the field. We have 6,000 damage, more than enough for lethal, finishing him off. And just like that, the turn 2 Chad Chaos deck. 2-0 victory in the top 16. Let's get to it. Maxi to play around that triple tactics talent. We have a Chaos Hunter on the special summon. We could discard a card to summon, and then your opponent cannot banish cards. Do we summon the Chaos Hunter here? Yes, we do. Discard to come forth. No more banishing. So Wyver Burster can't banish, but the triple tactics talent, we could have taken control so that we could banish. Interesting. Okay. Abs Router being sent to the graveyard, searching for a Tracer. Lubellion being discarded to grab a Magna Hut. Why didn't we take control? Continuous effect. Only your opponent cannot banish cards. We want to banish. We want to banish. Bubba banish. Okay. Seals pass. Okay, you know, we are under Maxi. It's just like, Maxi has been every single game today, hasn't it? Just Maxi draw phase all freaking day. Chaos Space is going to be searching for our Lubellion. Serenir sending regain, so we're setting up for a Branded Beast to set it up during the end phase. We Magna Hut in, and just like that, oh, this is the level 7. That is not a Chaos play. What the heck? Magna Hut is going to be banishing. This is the Chaos Angel, though. The Battery Man and a Bestial, perfect. Light, dark, and is going to be unaffected from monster effects, banishing on summon. Cross Sheep is here. Cross Sheep is waiting for us to special summon to where it's pointing to, and if you control a fusion, you get to summon a level 4 or lower from the grave. We are going to be summoning our Thunder Dragon Colossus under where the cross sheep's pointing to reborn our monster to now make an Apollo USA. So what we have to do here, we got to be very careful here. We have to have the Apollo activate their effect. If they activate, they lose because we chain Nibiru. This will only negate Nibiru if it does not negate the seal, but the seal is going to spin back the Apollo, forcing it to activate, forcing us to Nibiru, tributing the entire field. Nope. It's not, because I got a call by the grave, mate. It is not forcing me to activate anything. Now, what are the chances of Apollo negating the Magna Hut? It's 0 because there's a Chaos Hunter and you can't banish. Oh gosh, we got checkmated. Ain't no way. You chain Nibiru to what? To what are you chaining Nibiru to? Apollo negate. Apollo negate. Negate. That call by the grave was perfect. If he Apollo'd, then Nibiru would have tributed everything. Just like that. Lethal damage. All right. Think he waited too long on the Nibiru, huh? You know, he felt safe. It was the feeling of, I can wait with Nibiru because if they summon a negate, I have seal. So I could seal, force a negate, or force the Apollo. Apollo activates, you chain Nibiru, and then you win. It doesn't have ads. It doesn't like sell anything. I don't know. It was Microsoft investing into esports, and we all know how well esports are doing right now. Magna Hut banishing. Now we're going to Max C to play around the Gamma, waiting for the monster to hit the field instead of chaining the Max C to get greedy. That is how a top tier player plays. Smash CG is using data to train an AI? Sure, probably, maybe. Baron de Flor, Omni negate. Now what? We keep on having to play under Max C, unfortunately. Magna Hut, end phase, banishing that Lubellion to get searching for our own Lubellion. Our Gamma is dead, but we have a Max C, and they have no way to stop it. So you Max C'd me, I Max C'd you. All is fair, all is well. Baron de Flor in defense, dying to a Bestial. Probably not an ideal summon. Searching for our Druid Swarm as we Thunder Dragon for Thunder Dragon. We did open ourselves up to get Gamma now. And we did play around Gamma by Max C'ing only on the summon of a monster. So we should maybe be expecting it. That is going to be it. Gamma is going to negate. We are going to draw one off of that Gamma since we already have another Max C. Chain Druid Swarm to dodge the draw of the first Max C. And Dark's going to search a Dark. That doesn't really do anything. Have the Dark come forth and summon. Goodbye to Lubellion. And we're still under Max C, so are we willing to further cook? Yeah, we are. Into a Colossus. Colossus, indestructible by battle, indestructible by card effect. Your opponent cannot add cards from the deck to the hand. What do? Still banned in TCG, by the way. Max C it up. Max C. Okay. I'll chain my Bestial. We chaining. What is going on? Druid Swarm. We're just getting salty. I mean, it's like Kid Art. Turn 1, Max Seed. Turn 2, Max C. Turn 3, Max C. 1, 2, 3, Max freaking C. All right. We have Tracer and Druid Swarm into our Chaos Angel. It's not going to be unaffected from monster effects. This on summon will be able to banish a card, but the Effect Veiler will be able to affect it. And oh, like, yeah, that sucks because now we thought we were dealing with the Colossus, which the Druid Swarm could have dealt with the Colossus, but then we got negated. Unbelievable. So nothing, not happening. Also got to chain summon Chaos Hunter, which would have stopped the banish another way. So what do? Can't activate Lubellion. And then our own Druid Swarm. Druid Swarm to trigger Druid Swarm. Oh, man. Why not banish Druid Swarm so it doesn't activate? Send Colossus, which does not have protection. It's not protected. Oh, boy. Banishing for the Chaos Creator. You know, our morale is down low because getting back-to-back-to-back max seed all 3 turns in a row, it's too much to deal with. And then we threw away our own max seed out of tilt. I do think so. And just like that, Thunder Dragon Titan. The Titan is here, ready to chain any Thunder Dragon effect in the hand to get poppin'. Lethal damage. 2-0. Let's go. We do have Ash. When do we Ash? Quickly launch, chain the Tracer, pop it, summon a Recharger for the deck. We're locked on a Dark Monster from the extra deck only, so no Erratic Seal. Boot Sector, negate there would be really bad use of the Ash. Ash negate the Chaos Ruler, I could say I agree with that. That is a good negate. Do not fill up their graveyard. Don't let them set up with some Bystials. Now, we are going to be... Whoa! I mean, it's still too much. Maybe it's Destiny knows when it's lost, and he's just... I'm out. I'm out. The Ash was not enough, and they were cooking too hard. This is it. We're going to have to deal with the Bystial and a Veiler. Let's find out when we do the choke points. When are we choking? Is this a good choke? I would say no, because we still have our normal summon. Why does it matter that you have the normal summon? Since a lot of you were asking about choke points here, because you could still make a Romulus search for the Rocket Tracer, then just normal summon it. So if you could just normal summon the searched for Rocket Tracer, I would say, why negate this? No good. That's going to allow us to banish 3 Dark to summon the Levineer, which will randomly return a card from the hand back in the deck, randomly liking the rest of our hand, so Effect Veiler is protecting our hand as we now make our Rocket Synchron into a Masquerena. This is interesting, not too crazy. We could spin a card back with a Erratic Seal. We could link off with the Masquerena with whatever monster we summon from the deck into a Unicorn to spin back. We also got the Ash. Let's go. Branded regain setup for if a Light of Dark is banished, we're going to draw 1 off of it just like that. That's exactly what we're successfully doing. Drawing into a 3rd Chaos Space. We're going to force the use of the Erratic Seal, spinning back the Druid Swarm, summoning Magna Hut to search during the end phase. Now, this is interesting. Discarding Chaos Space with a 4-card hand, you have to be thinking, you have to know they have another one. So when do we Ash? Do we Ash the field spell, which is going to send Absorrouter to search for the Rocket Tracer? So do we want them to have Rocket Tracer, or do we want them to have a Chaos Monster? What is maybe it's Destiny going to do? Allowing it to happen. Also could have negated the Absorrouter itself, searching for that Rocket Tracer. And it looks like we decided to negate the Chaos Space instead. That was good information. Discard Chaos Space, must have another, or a really good hand, if not another. Get poppin', come forth, and summon from the deck. And now let's see what we can do with this as we chain our Masquerena into Unicorn to spin a body on the field back into the deck. Maybe it's Destiny knows exactly when to do the disruption. Now, the Bystial being reborn from the graveyard off of the regain could make a Chaos Angel here, but it will be affected by monster effects. And it's not a Baron to floor at least, and instead we're making a Dark. Dark is here, triggering the Druid Swarm to send the Unicorn. Dark is going to reborn the opponent's Magna Hut, gaining its effect to search for a dragon during the end phase, and making a Unicorn of our own, discarding our 3rd and final copy of Chaos Space. Yeah, this was interesting, sure. Searching for Seyfert with our Magna Hut, searching for Disruption with the Baldrake. If we can get the Baldrake out early, Baldrake could tribute the Unicorn or the newly summoned Druid Swarm to be able to banish whatever summoned from the extra deck. We have Seyfert searching for the Tracer, Seyfert also being able to add back Levineer. Now, if we look in the graveyard, we have Dark, Dark, Dark. We do have a Light. We banished 3 Lights and or Darks. We could pop 2 cards on the field, non-targeting poppage. Seyfert being returned back to get that draw 1, and the non-target wipe is here. Baldrake is going to be a part of the equation of what we decide to get wipe in. We are going to wipe out the Druid Swarm and the Baldrake, leaving up that Unicorn. But none of that is needed as we have over 8,000 damage, taking this into a game 3. A lot of the Dragon Link plays are non-linear. There's a lot of different ways to get playing. And not everyone is even playing the quad Boral. Get ready. We did not max C in the draw phase. Generally, if we didn't do that, it's probably because we forgot. It could be hard in Master Duel to ensure that you get your toggle on as the game begins and before it goes to main phase 1 to drop that max C. Make sure you watch my toggle video on the optimal in-game settings to ensure that you do not miss out on using your max C in the draw phase. Now, even though it's the optimal settings to ensure you do not make that mistake, I will still make that mistake myself. You just have to hold the left click with my settings and the toggle will be on. Let's get to it. Lubellion setting up with the back row branded beast and a regained. I mean, this alone is very good. If we summon, they summon a Bestial. If a lighter dark is banished, they get to draw 1. If we have a card in the field that's good, the branded beast will pop it. Just this. Now. What do we do? Chaos Space, discarding Safer to grab a Dark Leveneer. Safer number 2 is here, discarding Tracer to search our deck. And now we are returning the favor. You max-seed me, I max-see you. Tracer for Tracer. Sure, why not? Now making a Striker Dragon. Now, talking about disruption, if you had a card like Ash Blossom, if this is activating and you know the deck only plays 1, and they're not trying to cheat you in TCG with a false activation, it's probably a pretty good negate. I would think so. Activate, come to me. We could reborn from the graveyard if there were more bodies in the field, which there could be with the Bestial on the field. Otherwise, we could special summon a Rocket from the hand. Now, is there a Bestial to reborn from the graveyard? There isn't. How do we not have a Bestial in the grave? So the beast is not dead, but the regain is not going to be special summoning. Max C in response to that Sereneer summon. Come forth, and we already used the effect to draw 1 with our regained. Leveneer banishing light and dark, so we're going to pop 2 cards on the field, non-targeting. Dark is going to be taken out by the beast, activating its other effect to add a dark monster with 1500 or less defense. A good one to add is another Tracer. Now, Boot Sector Launch can't summon 2 Tracers from the hand. It can only summon 2 different Rockets. We're going to be discarding that Tracer, sending a Lubellion, tributing the Leveneer with Lubellion because it cannot attack. Setting up into the back row a regained of our own, banishing the Safer to grab back the Leveneer, which could summon again. If you have enough monsters in the graveyard, banish 3, it just can't activate again, but it can attack. We are turn 2, and right now, regained, return back the Leveneer to get that draw 1, Magna Hut searching during the end phase if there's going to even be one. Recharger, Tracer with the Ravine. We got a big Boot Sector launch play, Yup, this is it. Summon 2 Rockets from the hand, just like that. Popping the field spell, summoning the Rocket Synchron, now making a Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler, top 5 cards of the deck, is going to be milled, adding a light or dark among those 5, and that's why Ash wants to negate. But we are going to finger the Ash. We're going to Veiler the Chaos Ruler. Thus, we are negated. Dodging the finger with the Veil. Ain't no way. All right. So where we go from here is the Rocket Synchron and the Chaos Ruler make a hot red Dragon Archfiend, or we instead first make a Zombie Vampire, which will mill 4 off of both players' decks. Now, what's cool about this is because everyone's playing Kashtira Fenrir, you can mill a Fenrir off your opponent's deck and then summon it to your side. We are going to Chaos Ruler, banishing light and dark to reborn from the graveyard after detaching it with the Zombie Vampire. And now we are going to turn this into Azalea. Now, what's crazy about Dragon Link is sometimes this specific to Sky Striker bonus also happens to Dragon Link. If you have 4 or more spells in your graveyard, she could target a card in the field, destroy it, and then she stays on the field. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. She's staying. She is staying. This is a Sky Striker deck. We're going to keep her on the field, turning her into a Unicorn. Unicorn on summon, discard, spin back to Lubellion. We have 14 cards in their hand right now. Oh my Jesus. Now the fear is, when you open up your opponent's field, you're now susceptible to impermanence. You're susceptible to Gamma. 2 cards we do not have in our hand at all. To battle we go, 8,200 damage, but there is a Bestial to block the lethal damage. Not quite game. Yeah, trying to lethal when Bestials are everywhere, that is going to be troublesome. We do have Masquerena into an Axis Code Talker. This is going to be 5,300, indestructible by card effects. Let's see if the opponent remembers. Well, Valor dropping down its attack, but it's still indestructible. Okay. You can simply attack over it, though. Max C in the draw phase, cross out designate. There's no way you have a Max C in your deck with only 8 cards left. How? How? He actually does. Banishing Max C from the deck to negate Max C. Ain't no way. I'm out of here. That is some BS. Goodbye. Unfortunate, or maybe it's destiny, losing to a Max C. Metal Blade with 8 months says, watching your tournaments every week for a while now, and I feel like it makes me a better player. But then I get on ladder and I will consistently activate Sinister Sovereign on an evenly matched. What I'm trying to say is, can I get a refund? Absolutely not. That's all you, my friend. I take no credit for your ladder antics there. Thank you. Not only do you maxi in the draw phase for triple tactics talent, you also do it because of what just happened. The Fenrir is not activating the hand. It special summons before you can max C. You have to toggle on, drop that max C. Now we are imperming a Fenrir against a Spright deck. That's a huge debate. Carrot, now we're going to max C, but we had Call by the Grave anyway, so... We're going to be reborning from the graveyard. Gigantic Spright, detach and a summon from the deck. Chaining Nibiru to the Gigantic Spright, which makes it so you cannot even use Nibiru. Now, what happens is Nibiru tributes the Gigantic Spright. Gigantic Spright does not summon from the deck because it has to detach by card effect, not by cost. It's not on the field, so there's nothing to detach. Negate! Gotcha. Even though... we played the Nibiru into the Gigantic Spright at that right moment, which would make it so it does not turn off Nibiru. There's still a red to stop us. Caddy from the deck is here, making a Spright Elf again. Spright Elf not being limited to 1 at minimum, kind of sus. Now, the Vernisilith, so good here. Oh, geez. When the Vernisilith gets discarded, it's sad because it's a discard. It's 2 cards for 1. 2 for 1 Ash, 2 for 1 red. That is a huge problem with Vernisilith if you don't have a fat hand to do another one. Elf reborn in the caddy, and then we pretty much have no play. That is devastating. We are going to smash that back row, banishing the red from the rest of the duel. You know, some people are actually playing more than 1 red, I would think. Yeah, that's a good idea, right? 2 red, maybe 1 carrot. Jet is limited to 1 in today's tournament. We are grabbing Starter. Starter from the deck into the blue. Blue searching for our second copy of red. That's the scoop. Angeli. The imperm would have to be used on the Angeli before it activates. We are Vernisilithin, and we're going to reborn from the graveyard our Messengelato. And we're going to negate that search, only activatable if we control a Hoot Cake. Now, let's speed on through this as we're out of disruptions. So after all of this, what did we accomplish? We have 1 negate. We could promenade. All right, promenade, negate anything. Now, the glass could return up to 2 cards in either player's graveyard back into the deck, but because it's a field spell is here, it can go back to the hand instead. So a card like Max C goes back to our hand. That is a cool play. Return it. All right. And a card like this also works against, let's say, a Branded Fusion, sending an Albaz from the deck to the graveyard. You chain to the Branded Fusion, then you spin the Albaz back in the deck, completely disrupting their play. Let's get to it. This is the Zeus play. How do we Zeus through the Promenade? Well, let's see. You want to have enough materials so that the Promenade negate is not enough. Now, we can completely screw this up. If we really want to Zeus, we Zeus in the end phase. It's kind of tricky. You have to toggle on, end your turn, only during the end phase, activate Zeus, they Promenade negate, you chain Zeus again, they cannot Veiler because it's in the end phase. Are they gonna do it? Probably not. Did not. Promenade, negates. Activate Zeus again. Oh, we actually have Carrot. We actually have Carrot. So if we chain Veiler, it's still gonna wipe the whole field. So we don't even do it. We don't even waste it. So this is fine. This actually works out. This is better because of that Carrot play. Now, what's unaffected for monster effects here due to the glass? The glass itself. All right, and we still have our wipe. We probably should have still Veilered. If we Veilered, he would not be able to wipe on our turn. So I'm thinking the Veiler was still the play. And which means Zeus in the end phase was still the correct play. End phase Zeus to still play around Veiler. Drew Swarm, get banishing, and let's go. Interestingly large hand, nice and plump, is huge. Searching for Mudora, not randomly adding it. Special summoning Fenrir because it's an Earth. What the heck? Come forward, Shokan into Donner. Donner's going to force the Zeus to activate, or will it? As we're going to add Penny from the deck to the hand. And yeah, it is going to force the Zeus. Zeus the field, but the glass will make one of the monsters unaffected from the Zeus, so it does not get sent to the graveyard. That's going to be the glass itself, which will return up to 2 cards from either player's graveyard back to the hand. Or I should say back on the deck because we do not have the field spell at this point. Return it. Putting Sis back in the deck. Chateau back into the deck. Now we are getting Mudora into the graveyard, searching for a Vanisilith, reborning our Fenrir, banishing the graveyard to summon the Petting Sword. Petting Sword summon the Pudding Sis, but we're going to chain Penny. Penny is going to make a Herald of Arclight, likely, yes. The Herald of Arclight's going to ensure that we can negate anything once, or any monster that is sent from the deck or hand to the graveyard is banished instead. But we have Fenrir to go even with the negate. You negate, I tried to banish, very good. Now, can we put lethal on the board? We have 3,300, not quite enough. Chocolate is going to put more bodies in the field, banishing from the graveyard. Only if you have the Pudding Sis as a material does it activate when a monster gets returned back to the deck to summon a monster from the deck. That's going to be the Messenger Gelato, which is going to be grabbing the Chateau. Chateau, which will trigger the Chocolate again to summon another body on the field, also boosting up the field. This is going to be more than enough for lethal damage. The glass, which was put into defense last turn, is going to be put into attack. And just like that, Shizor has surrendered. Diva. We got Imperm, Ash. Diva summoning another Sea Serpent from the deck. I do not think so. Negate. Now Shokan into Sprint. Sprint, send Angler, summon double Nimble. Imperm onto that. Maybe Ash would be better. Do we let them send Angler, then negate the Angler? Either way, it is a negate. We do not want it to fulfill its play. What's very good about Ash is that it negates Max C. Do not forget that. So if you see that your opponent's not doing anything that great, and you know that you could break their field through without a Max C happening, then you could just save the Ash. Let's get to it. Oh, that's going to get ashed right there. That is a big deal, and that completely screws us. We were going to be able to go into the Petting Sword. I mean, we had lots of combos and plays. Promenade, though, is going to be able to target a Madolche that we control or in the graveyard. So we still have the negate with the Promenade. Imperm negating the Beaver. Now, this could be a gigantic Spright, which the Promenade's going to have to negate by returning the Angela back. Yes, activate. Target one face of card your opponent controls. We're waiting for the blue summon. Okay. Should we have negated gigantic Spright? Negate. Okay. Starter, come forth and summon from the deck. I do not think so. Ash, negate. Now, the Ghost Sister is pretty interesting. Oh, what the heck? This is such a weird card. Why are we using this? During either turn, so I know TCG players were using this in time to make sure you have higher life points than your opponent. During either turn except the end phase, you discard this card, and then each time your opponent special summons a monster, you gain life points equal to that monster's attack. So you win in time. Let's go, let's go. Elf is here. Elf reborn from the graveyard. Jokingly, of course. We got the Vernissa Lift, discard Angeli, search our deck, and we're now going to be gaining life per special summon. How is this going to work out? What is this? Do we even care? This is what Max C would do if it were balanced. Gain life on every special summon. Wow, 1,000 life point gain right there. I don't think this will even cause a single second of hesitation. We're going to special summon as much as we can. How much can our life points go up to? To battle we go. That's going to, in the damage step, get wiping, taking out the Spright Elf. And that was a bug there. That was destroyed by battle, not by card effect, even though it looked like it. Shokan into the glass. Again, gaining 1,800 life points. Targeting the Hoot Cake to make it unaffected for monster effects. We now have the Chocolate, which is going to be returning a monster in the graveyard back in the deck to summon a monster from the deck. 17,000 life, by the way. Message Gelato, searching for Chateau. Spin a card in the graveyard back in the deck. Summon a messenger from the deck, which will be a 2,100 life point gain. It gains off of the newly gained attack, not the original. Salon is here, which can allow an additional normal summon of a Madolche, but more importantly, when a card is returned back in the deck or the hand, it's going to activate to set a Promenade, setting up our negates. Shokan into the Sistart. That's going to trigger the glass to get returning, putting the Ash back into the hand, actually. And also the Hoot Cake also being returned back, which could be normal summoned here, as we now have our Promenade negate. 25,000 life, not a big deal. We're going to use the Vernissa Lift, discarding the Hoot Cake, sending a Max C from the deck to the graveyard so that Glass could add that Max C back to our hand during the opponent's turn. That is such a cool play. What do you think? Searching Max C. Poggers, let's go. We just have a negate. We have Call by the Grave now to stop the Max C. We could wait for it to be activated, and then we'll stop it. All right, adding back, searching for Max C, essentially, sent from the deck to then add back to the hand. Finger the C. Negate. Promenade negating the Called by the Grave. We're at 28,000 life points. What the heck is going on? All right. That's it for our disruption besides the Ash. We have nothing. Holy moly. Do we set up a Zeus play? Ash is going to negate the Jet, so the Centuria into Zeus, wipe it up. Or we could try to go Gigantic or Spright Elf. We could just do normal Spright plays instead, which is what it looks like we're opting to do. Even under Max C, we're making them plays. Full plays. Gigantic Spright is here. Summon a level 2 from the deck. And we could not, Nibiru, not enough summons have happened. Really, it was like Jet, Elf, Sprind, Gigantic was the 4th summon. Unbelievable. We just missed it. We're summoning our Bestial because we would be locked out of summoning it after the Gigantic Spright resolves. You're lethaling? You're actually lethaling? No way! You actually have lethal damage? Gigantic Sprite's gonna become 6,400 attack? No way! Buh! Boost! Lethal damage! Damn! Who plays Cat Shark? Shizor plays Cat Shark. Damn! Boosted out of his mind. Huh? The heck was that? Set Slime Pass? It's okay, we have Maxi. Maxi is balanced because when you brick, it helps your bricked hand, as we saw there. Very nicely done. Then we're now not special summonable because we have a set slime. Keck waits. All right, we survived the full turn of making no play due to the Maxi. And now we're free to go in. When do we ash? Ashing Lubellion, we see the hand, so it looks really bad. But damn, It's like he already has a Bestial, and you triggered the TTT. So it's like really, really bad. Libelion is here, setting up a branded spell and trap into the back row. We're going to quickly launch our rocket onto the field. With that, that's a scoop. We scoop it. We got Ash. When do we Ash? You can't Ash the Gilgamesh that sets up the 2 pendulum scales. So you would think the ideal Ash would be anything that sets up the Gilgamesh. Now, with the Triple D deck, it is all about setting up double level 6s onto the field so you can make the big play. We got the Suck, we got the Negate, we got the double special summon Negate, and we got the Monster Negate and Steal. How do we play through all of this disruption? Fenrir activating the search, and we did nothing. That's interesting. On attack, we're going to activate to banish. We're going to use the Headhunt to take control and stop the banish. Now, what's cool about the Kashtira, you could consider this not cool. Most of these cards like this, like the Wyvern Burster, Clap Serpent, they have this clause that states the card can only be special summoned once this way, because otherwise you're going to be able to resummon the Fenrir that you just searched, which is kind of broken. Just like that. Normal summoning the Ash, a great attempt at Konami balancing Kashtira, as they did with Tearlament. Which, have you noticed that the way to make a broken deck is just remove all the restrictions that you have on every other deck? If Tyr was a balanced deck like everything else, it would say you could only fusion summon. You could only summon this. You can only use Aqua. You can only do this and that. Fenrir, my Fenrir, what the? Wait. It's negated. Hold up. What the? Come to me, Dark Contract, because, we took control and it is negated. Now, Siegfried is going to only be able to target a spell or trap on the field to negate. Not able to negate monster. Fenrir from the graveyard. We've got to be careful with our own monster effect. Only on monster effect will it be able to then pop a card in the field by banishing it face down. Kepler setting up into the Pendulum Scale. We're going to Pendulum Shokan into the Oblivion King Ragnarok, which will trigger the Fenrir to banish the Siegfried off of the field. Slime is going to banish from the graveyard, summoning from the hand our Zero King Rage. Now, we're going to trigger the Genghis, reborning a monster from the graveyard. The King Talif sent to the graveyard is going to activate to send a Typhon from the deck to the grave. Ragnarok is going to tribute a monster to banish an opposing monster. Typhon is going to fuse with our graveyard, fusing into a High King Genghis. Just like that. That is more than enough for, lethal? Lethal damage! What did this do? When this declares an attack, if your opponent is 4,000 life points or less, you make this card gain attack equal to the opponent's life points. Interesting. Libelion searching for a Bestial. We have no hand trap in sight, but Fenrir could help us a little bit, help crack the fields. So what we accomplished here is negate anything, negate a monster on the fields. Also, this cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect and cannot be targeted by monster effects. And if we have a Bestial in the graveyard, which we do, it's going to be special summoned if we summon a monster. And we do have a Bestial also to banish a light or dark from our grave. Can we crack this field? We do have Fenrir to open it up. Fenrir triggering the regained. Be searching near the end phase for a dragon. Now that does trigger our Fenrir to force you to have to negate us. Borland, negate the Fenrir. You can't chain to the Borland negate. We still have one Omni negate. One negate left. When do we negate? Activate, searching for the Slime. Slime could fuse with the hand. We're going to chain Druid Swarm here, interestingly. Okay, so what's interesting here is the Druid Swarm on the field alongside the Tracer, which was summoned from the Borland. Tracer could pop the Druid Swarm to send a special summon monster to the graveyard. So now we have an extra disruption. We have a negate plus a send. High King Genghis can only negate a spell or trap during your own turn, and that's exactly when you're activating your spell or trap. We're going to pop our Durastorm to do that exact play I was talking about to send the High King Genghis to the graveyard before we can get a body out. If we can get a body out with the High King Genghis, it would reborn a double D from the grave. So we just lost out on that play. The Slime's going to banish summon a monster from the hand. We have not normal summoned yet. DD Griffin special summoning to Shokan into the Wave King Caesar. Wave King Caesar is going to be detaching to, what is that effect even? What it says, you detach a material at the end of the battle phase. Special summon from your graveyard as many monsters destroyed this turn as possible. Huh? King Tail going in. King Tail going to the graveyard. So we were not going for a Zeus play. We could have made a massive Zeus if we were not locked into double D. I think the Orthros locked us in though. Orthros, when summoned onto the fields, you can only special summon Fiend-type monsters for the rest of the turn, so we could not make a Zeus play. Now, we are going to be negated right there. The Borreload is negating the Necroslime from Fusion Summoning within the graveyard. We have non-target suckage with the Machine X. And the King Caesar, which reborn nothing, still burned you for 1,000 damage. Great. And you can't chain suck a Borland because you can't chain to its effect, and we're now negated. This is not working out well. We are in a really bad spot. Fenrir was permanently negated by the Borland, by the way. Banishing from the grave. Return back the Necro Slime. Draw one card there. Chaos Angel on summon. Banish a card from the fields. And the Duraswarm send the other. Holy moly. I have not... G, have you seen... Where are the tier limits today? Are they gone? I don't think there's any tier limit that made top 16 today. I think we could say that tier limit is actually over. It's gone. The cope is gone unless there's a random tier that we're about to spectate soon. We have not gone through the full top 16 yet, I think. This is Naturia, Runick. Now, I know a lot of people hate this deck. I enjoy the deck myself. I like the Naturia engine. We do have Masquerena with the Heretic Seal, plus the added effect Veiler, and double Bestial. Let's see. We could link up, we could spin back. Is this enough to defeat Runick Naturia? Cricket is here, triggering the Regained. Destruction, popping the Regained, so you're not going to summon a Bestial. Also chaining the Cricket. At no point can you effect Veiler the Cricket unless they have a Chameleon on the field, mill 2 instead of it being tributed. Now with the Sunflower, that's a double monster negate. We do have Effect Veiler though. So what's interesting is if you were to activate Heretic Seal, you chain the Sunflower, you chain the Veiler, you then chain the Sunflower to negate the Veiler, you then chain the Masquerena, which you can't because it's a cost of tribute. This is a situation. This is a situation. Duraswarm banishing, and so is the Baldrake. Baldrake is getting ready to be able to banish an extra deck monster. So that is what the Sunflower is doing right now. Milling 2 to negate. Randomly milling the Sacred Tree, by the way, which is insane. The Sacred Tree will be searching for another Naturia. That's the double negate of the Sunflower. Negate the Heretic Seal, but it still has another effect. If tributed, which it successfully was tributed, even though it was negated, it's going to summon a monster from the deck. So first we're going to get the Druid Swarm, and now let's get triggering. Tree into tree. Blessing is not once per turn. It could reborn a monster from the graveyard. We could bless, bless, bless. This is where the Heretic Seal comes into play, giving us another body to use with our Masquerena. Triple blessing. Actually, all three. Blessing, blessing, double the blessing. Not triple, though. Into Masquerena. So I was thinking, what if you enter the battle phase first? And then do this, and then attack over Masquerena, right? I think that's the correct play. Because, wait, no, we activated Runick Destruction. We can't do that. We don't have a battle phase. Damn. So it would have been a good idea if we had battle phase. So Unicorn will activate, and it will get spinning. Now the Cricket is being triggered because you summoned an extra deck monster. Druid Swarm is also going to be sending the Sunflower. And we're going to be using Blessing to bless a monster back onto the field again. We're actually going to chain Synchro into Coral Dragon. The rarely used effect, but I think the effect is really good during the opponent's turn to summon cards like Trushilla. Now we're going to be Runick dispelling our Gary onto the field. Gary plus Coral Dragon will not only be a level 10 Synchro, it will also result in a drawn card. Do not forget, we do not have a battle phase here. If we could banish a card, that will trigger our Chang Ying to banish on the field and in the graveyard. Goodbye to the Chaos Ruler. Pretty good. Pretty good. So what's going to happen here is if we activate an effect to special summon a monster, we could chain Cricket, summon a Camellia. Camellia will then trigger to summon the Sunflower for double monster negate. But the problem with Sunflower is that we don't have a good way to protect it from battle. And that's the main way to out it. You just attack into it. Actually, the Chang Ying's reducing all monsters' attacks, so it actually is quite well protected. If we have enough banished. Leveneer activating to pop in the field. It does not activate in the hand, by the way, so you would not be able to preempt the Cricket in response to the Leveneer. The Chang Ying can't be destroyed by the Leveneer. Chain summoning a Runick. And we're going to chain summon with the Cricket. Whatever we summon could get popped by the Leveneer, though. Summon just one Camellia and Huggin. If you try to pop the Huggin and the Camellia at the same time, Huggin cannot protect. They both die. So I guess this just works out. Pop, pop. There you go, just as I said. Huggin going back into the extra deck. So we don't really have a Naturia play now. Yeah. What we had to do is summon double Camellia from the deck, which we couldn't because we have a Chang Ying. We have to be the smallest field. Negate Lubellion from searching for a Bestial, and Lubellion is now onto the field. How do we deal with an indestructible Chang Ying? You try to destroy it, it banishes a card instead. We don't deal with it, we end our turn. Now, we do not have a battle phase. Yup, battle phase is gone, but next turn we're going to start attacking. Banishing for Leveneer. This will trigger the Chang Ying, which will allow us to use Triple Tactics talent to, I don't know, take control and attack for game. That's what I'm thinking. Get banishing. Yoink it. Take it. Okay, protecting from destruction. Now, Leveneer cannot attack. So we have to normal summon Veiler, do something with the Leveneer, and then we can attack. Dark. But this is not game, and that just triggered the Cricket, and the Cricket is now going to summon two bodies from the deck. And we have to give back the Chang Ying unless we link with it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is a problem. We didn't have lethal anyway. We had 7150 damage. Huh? You can't just give it back? Well, 5300 damage. Dark searching for a Tracer. Looks like Naturia Runick's got this. If we don't have a Camellia in the deck, then the Cricket from the grave is no good. All Camellias are in the grave. All Blessings are in the grave. Dude won from just a Chang Ying. Like, that was it. Chang Ying was just unstoppable. Just Chang Ying. The Naturia engine was juiced out of juice. Nothing left. The tank was empty. It was Chang Ying for game. That's it. Regained end. We do have a Ball Drake in our hand at least. Okay. Cricket into Camellia. Maybe we should Veiler this, stopping it from sending the tree, which would search for a Blessing, which could summon the Cricket, which would make a Naturia Beast for infinite spell negate. We are Ball Draking our own Veiler, and in response, we're going to be summoning a Runick from our extra deck to be used with the Camellia to make a Charge Warrior or a Coral Dragon, which will result in drawing a card. Hugging on summon, discarding to search. We are negated, but it still Chain Link blocks the Huggin from a card like Ash. No Ash here. Very good. Use your negated card to protect. This is a choke point for Ash. You do Ash that. We now have Field Spell into the Coral Dragon, special summoning a Gary. Do we discard with Coral Dragon to pop a card before we use it up? Return 3, draw 3. We do. We discard, we pop the Baldrake, then Changing again. It worked game 1. How could it not work again? Just like that, indestructible, and in response to anything getting banished, we're going to banish a card on the field and in the grave. And what do Runick cards do? They banish off the top of the deck, just like that. Goodbye to Maxi, triggering Chang Ying, but did not do it. We're waiting. What are we waiting for with our Chang Ying? Maybe for something else? We want to, I don't know. Why are we waiting? Banish regained and a card in the graveyard? Am I missing something? Now we're doing it. Waited to Chainlink block Ash again. If there was an Ash in the hand, you couldn't Ash the Huggin, you couldn't Ash the Field Spell. Very well done. There's no rush to use it early. Perfect use of Chainlink block. We just need to edit this clip with an Ash in the hand that's not there. Bless onto the field our Camellia. If your opponent summons while you have Camellia, you reborn a monster from the graveyard. And that monster from the graveyard will be the Cricket, which will then summon a Sunflower for the deck for a double monster negate. Let's go. Very well done from Runick Naturia. Lubellion for Magna Hut, and the turn with triple Bestial. Interesting. I mean, we had no other play. We're digging deep for the Rex. We could negate a monster effect. We could pop a card in the field with the Rex in the graveyard, then draw 3. And we could link with the Masquerena. We could Spright Elf, Reborn, a Carrot 2, Spell and Trap card negate. This is pretty great. This is pretty good. Drawing Max C for the first card of turn 2, as always. I mean, I know I've brought this up a million times over like the past year, but come on, are you with me on this? Turn 2 in the new Master Rule rules, all these people drawing Max C for turn would have it in their opening hand. I know a lot of you hate Max C, but I really think that's the best way to balance going first and second. Serenir banishing the Hug and to get itself onto the field. Is this a normal Albaz play? Normal Albaz into Masquerena, making Goddess with it. That would probably be the play. Or Raphael negate. Rex to summon and trigger the Dumpla to pop the Serenir to draw 3. Ash to negate the Max C. I do not think so. Negate. Let's do it. Get popping. Get drawing. Holy moly. Since we already used up the Falgo, we're good to Masquerena into the Albaz. Or now we could just negate it with the Curses or negate it with the Raphael. We have negate, negate, link with it, mate. It's over. Negate. Holy moly. Absolute devastation. Insanity. Fusion deployment to summon Cartesia from the deck. Cartesia's going to be able to fuse, but we're not fusing yet. We're banishing Albaz off of our Allure of Darkness. Now we're making the Gangrel. No, we're making Albion instead. Let's go. We are going to be fusing with the Albaz in the graveyard to make our Mirror Jade without our branded fusion. And we do have our Super Poly to back up and protect our non-targeting monster banish. A lot of people would say it's correct to banish their first summon. Against a non-Runick deck, I would agree. If it was pure Spright, then yes. And then the only way to counter that would be it'd have to have one of 2 Spright starter. But because it's Runick, sure, hold on to it. We do have Super Poly. Ready and waiting. Link this up into the Elf. Elf Reborn from the graveyard. Super Poly is non-targeting fusing, so we do not care where the monsters are. Gigantic Spright. This is a fuse, and it's our last opportunity to fuse after this activates. Huh, we're gonna Mirror Jade instead. Get negated, sure. So that means I can Mirror Jade again next turn. That works out for me. And then we got the big fat Super Poly. Yes, wait for the activation, then Super Poly. You Super Poly early, you done goofed. Use it up into Mood Dragon, which can make the Mirror Jade untargetable, which could have protected from the freezing curses. That's kind of interesting situation there. Ash negate the Albion from searching or setting a branded spell or trap. And the Mirror Jade is still activatable to get banishing. Not that there's even anything to banish. Branded opening, discard a card to special summon or add. We could change our mind to just add instead. We are getting rid of the banishment. We are still committing to that special summon, searching for a branded regained. With the Cartesia, we are fusing it up into our Masquerade. That is enough for lethal damage, taking out Runick for hire for game number 2. Let's do it. No hand traps. We're not hand trapping. Now, what did we accomplish here? This does, in fact, have the ability to negate only by discarding a Fur Hire card, which we do have one in our hand to negate a monster effect. The back row monsters that the elf is pointing to are untargetable. The Falgo is going to be drawing 3 cards after the Dampa pops a card in the field. How does it pop a card in the field? The Rex. We need Rex to summon Beat, triggering the Dampa to get popping, then we draw 3. We can also link up with the Masquerina. This is going to be a difficult situation. Now, if we summon the Albaz activate, the Dampa's not going to be able to pop it in time, stopping the fusion summon. But that's where the Raphael comes into play. Let's go. Well, let's just go right into it. There was a chance that he did not have a Fur Hire card to discard. There's many situations where we see a Raphael without a discard to negate. And it looks like we're also popping. We're negating and popping and drawing 3. Pop it up. Drawing into nothing usable here. Cartesia special summonable because there is an Albaz in the grave. Interesting. Now, Cartesia is different than Albaz. Cartesia does not have to be a fusion material. So we could just chain fuse to this unicorn. I think the timing on this wasn't very good. The red will be able to negate anything that is summoned off of this. I mean, we didn't even discard the red, so it wasn't to give us access to the red. Albion is here. Albion on summon activating to fusion Shokan just to get negated by the red. Not only negated, but destroyed. Very good. Red only destroys if it tributes an extra deck monster. Activating to set or search for a branded card. I do not think so. Cartesia recycling back to the hand during the end phase. After the turn, a fusion was sent to the grave. Now, are we locked out of our battle phase? We are not. We are a Runick deck, lethaling on turn 3. How? How can we pull that off? Unbelievable. Good job, Abin. That is the conclusion of the top 16. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing and sharing the video. And the watch time is very important for these videos. So by doing that, we're continually uploading the full tournament, including the top 8 and the grand finale. So make sure you check out that video also, which will be uploaded tomorrow. Let's go.